And in about 2 days, actually on Tuesday, the Council of Governors Devolution Conference will begin, and it'll go right through till Friday. And of course, as the name suggests, it'll be all about devolution, beg your pardon. And we are happy to host this evening one of the governors who's actually heading there tomorrow to Kakamega, the hosting county, to of course talk about the issues facing the counties. And Bwana Godana, thank you very much for joining us in studio. And I don't believe it's too soon to ask what you have, what you would call as your main achievement months into office.
Thank you. I think we've done well. We've come in when we had challenges challenges with cholera, challenges with drought, challenges with salaries to teachers, challenges with issues of food security. Challenges in reorganizing government to be able to take off. And I can say comfortably that we have been able to manage it well.
These sound like a very generic kind of challenges. It's faced in many counties. And it's one thing anticipating challenges before you become a governor, and it's another facing it while you are in office.
Exactly.
So what have you perhaps experienced right now that is one of your major challenges, and how are you dealing with it?
Well, the first challenge that we see as a priority to us to address is the issue of food insecurity. You realize there has been a lot of talk in Tana that about potential, but to the contrary, we have been victims of food insecurity for many years. So many interventions have been done, including stimulus programs, the whole irrigation scheme, whatever, Galana Kulalu issues, but we've never been there yet. Right. Until now, we, in most cases, depend on food relief supplies. So our first thing that we have embarked on is to ensure that we reverse that. And we are lucky a bit now that we have rains. Initially, when we were planning all this, we were not expecting there would be rain, there would be this kind of floods that are there today.
Yeah.
But on our own, we said we will look at wherever there's potential across the county, and we embarked on a program to support our farmers with water pumps, solar operated water pumps, and inputs.
And this is affecting or impacting how many?
It's across the county. We don't have actual data now.
Okay.
But we are targeting groups.
All right.
Groups across the board, north to south, east to west, and we are spending close to 40 million shillings.
And there's some data to what some other similar initiatives that are being taken at your county level, and that is, and you've mentioned it, Galana Kulalu irrigation scheme, and this is to the tune of 7 billion shillings. And there has been some resistance, even recently with Kilifi MCA saying that they would resist this because it hasn't included the people in terms of their being stakeholders and being involved in the process. Would you say the 7 billion shilling initiative is a misplaced priority, because those, as you've said, people within your county are experiencing food insecurity?
I wouldn't want to get so much into the controversy of Galana Kulalu. There's a lot of politics around it.
But you can't hide from it.
But I can't hide from it as well.
Yes.
But what I can say is, before we had Galana Kulalu, I wanted to note here that we had Bura Irrigation Scheme, we had Dola Irrigation Scheme, we had Gamba, the Tarda project. Walking back, we had many other initiatives. But the question is, how come we are still suffering, experiencing food insecurity situation?
Yes.
The question I would ask, everyone would ask is, would Galana Kulalu really be the solution?
What do you feel
just just remember here how many billions during my era was spent on border irrigation scheme. I think you can go back and look at the data. How many acres of land were anticipated that time? How many years has solar irrigation been there? They have all been there. The issue of whether Galana would succeed or not depends on the model we go for.
Okay.
If we go for a model that would then invite the politics that we are experiencing, then we are heading the wrong direction from the word go.
Right.
And again, if we go for a model that is so capitalist, again, we are heading for the wrong direction, because exactly those are the models that led to the failure in reaching the targets.
As Governor of Tana River, would you say we go ahead with this particular irrigation scheme, given what we've already experienced in the past, and saying that, you know, it hasn't quite brought that much change, we're still insecure in terms of food? What do you think is priority?
I think it's important for us to exploit that potential that exists in Tana. As a county government, we are approaching it differently. We are not approaching it from the mega. We know exactly what we want. We have two types of people there. We have the farming community, or the agro-pastoralists down there.
Yes.
Mostly along the river, the floodplain, and we have the pastoralists who do theirs along the main seasonal rivers, including the areas of Kone, the areas of Kalalani, Waldena, areas of Boka, so many other areas where there is real potential for agriculture. In fact, Galana Kulalo is taking part of the area where our friends, my people in Kone and Chakamba are. That potential had not been exploited before. We were not keen enough then to be able to match the potential and the demands of the people. Neither were we keen enough to realize that those people in Kone, those ones in Kalalani, yes, those ones in Waldena would do agriculture, would do crop farming. So there was a bit of a skewed understanding of how best we can, of identifying potential vis-a-vis how best we can do it. What the national government is doing is only to come on part of Tana to try and bring out that potential. That's them. And that's why I'm saying, if then we take off from the word go, we're inviting the kind of politics that is coming out. Yeah,
dominating this.
Then we are missing the point.
Right.
But if we are genuine enough with the weight of monies that we're putting in, then we'll succeed.
And you've mentioned the communities, some who are into agriculture, some who are pastoralists, and there has been insecurity when these communities clash over resources. Yeah. What your government, the county government, doing to bring some form of common ground and coexistence?
Well, what we are doing, first of all, is to, and that is part of the pillars of my administration, is to try and bring in the spirit of devolution to the people of Tana. We have come to this second government divided after those many years where we've come from into the very beginning of devolution, 2012, 2013. So people walked that way until we came in, divided. So what we are trying to bring on board in forming government and whatever we're doing is to ensure that the spirit of devolution is anchored in our people. Spirit
of devolution.
Yes.
But practically speaking, what are the other pillars that you have for the rest of your term? It's less than a year that you've been in office. You have a bit, 4 years in some months. What are your other key areas that you promised to deliver for the Tana River?
Yes. Apart from just to pursue what you are trying to ask, I believe the people of Tana know what they want, and if then they know what they want and then who they are, it is easy for them to solve their own problems.
It almost sounds like you're saying
wajipange. No, sio kujipanga. Especially tukijua kwamba within the spirit of devolution is for them to realize that Tana belongs to them and it is them to develop it to the extent that we compete with other counties.
The sense
and
of ownership.
Everybody's input is required.
Right.
That pastoralist with those 2 cows, the 5 goats, has an input.
Okay.
That farmer with those that small piece of land has an input. That small business person selling boga or with a kiosk or a wholesale, that contractor has an input into the economy. And so once they realize that, then they will not be able to look at each other negatively.
Yes.
They'll be there to be developing solutions to enable the other to contribute.
All right. They chose you as the governor, and your work is cut out for you in terms of what you say, helping them realize their dreams because they know what is important for them. And unfortunately, we are out of time. I really wanted you to be able to kind of draw out the focus areas for your county.